Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from my normal content. This video is going to be a review of my Sony ZV1 camera that I have been using for almost 3 months now. I have my notes written down on my iPad, so if you see me looking to the side, I'm just trying to ensure that I hit all my points. I bought this camera at the end of November in Panama from Fotura, and prior to that I was watching so many different reviews and those helped me to make my decision. So I figured that I'm going to make my own review to help somebody like me who knew nothing about cameras, who just wanted something that was very beginner friendly and produced high quality content. If you've been on the fence about buying the Sony ZV1 and you want some justification or just some recommendations as to what accessories to buy, keep on watching. If you're anything like me and you are a complete beginner to cameras, you have been doing research for months, and I went deep into the tech bro review for this camera for months prior to buying it. I watched every YouTube video, I watched every TikTok video, I read every blog because I wanted to make sure I was making the right choice. But this review is not going to be a tech bro review, it's going to be a complete beginner to point and shoot camera review. I'm going to share some of the specs that really caught me when I was researching this camera and the accessories that I bought based on the reviews that I watched. So in the box you get a dead cat, a USB cable, no charging brick, and a battery, and of course the camera itself. The camera is a small camera, so it's a little more than half the size of my iPhone 14 Pro Max. So it goes from here to maybe the volume down button. It also maybe is this high, so it's a pretty small camera. I typically carry it on my wrist with a wristband, or I put it into my purse. I have put it into my pocket before, but I'm not as secure about having it in my pocket. Other than the size, I'm now going to share some of the features that caught me when I was doing my research in no particular order. They are: 1, the flip out screen. The Sony ZV1 has a camera that flips out to the side. It is also a rotating screen and it can be flipped 180 degrees. Right now I'm looking at the screen because it is facing me, or I can flip it the other way and have it facing the back of the camera, I guess. It is a touch screen, but this is not a full touch screen. I can only use the touch feature to focus on whatever I want it to focus on. So right now it is focused on me and on my eyes. So anywhere I move, it's tracking me. I have a little box that I can see tracking me. The second feature, and I think what was the biggest feature of this camera that caught me, is the autofocus. So I'm going to use my DJI Mic Mini's magnet and show you how well the autofocus works. You can see how small this battery is, and if I put it in front of the camera, you'll see how quickly the mic catches onto it. Now usually with other cameras like phones, you had to put your hand behind the product for the camera to focus on it to block out your face, but with this camera it just grabs it pretty easily. And what you're seeing is another one of the features that I liked. It is called Product Showcase, and I think you figured out what it is already. So usually the camera is tracking me anywhere I go, but once I put something in front of the camera when Product Showcase is on, it focuses on whatever is in front of the camera and not myself. So even if I have it, say here, where you can still see my eyes, the camera is still focusing on this because it is closer to the camera. The third feature that I like about this camera is that it has a recording indicator light at the front of the camera. So I'm looking at it right now, that shows me that I am recording, so I don't have to worry that I'm filming for like 5 hours and then at the end of the 5 hours I never pressed record. So that is also a great feature to have. It also has a dedicated video recording button, so I know that I didn't make a mistake by pressing another button and thinking that, oh, you're recording but you're not. That's very annoying. The fourth feature is the mic. The Sony ZV1 has a great built-in microphone. I'm currently using the DJI Mic Mini, but that is personal preference. I'm going to insert 2 different clips to show you what the mic sounds like when you're inside in a relatively soundproof room with little to no ambient noise, and one when you're outside and you're in noise, you're in traffic, you're around people, and how great the mic works to pick up your voice even when you're behind the camera. And that is everything we've bought so far. I bought a hat at the Panama Canal, but if I could tell you where that hat is, it's somewhere I don't know. And syrup. Also like a good combination. But look on her. Look on her. Damn that girl. When it comes to accessories, I bought a few things that I felt would really elevate my user experience with this camera. Some of these are things that you need, and others are just things that I felt were cute or that I wanted as a personal preference. So in no particular order, you have to buy extra batteries. This is not just a oh I want accessory. This is a you have to buy extra batteries. So I have 5 batteries in total. I have 2 Sony batteries, one of which came with the camera, because at the end of the day, this is a small camera. It uses really small batteries. See, you don't expect that you're gonna get 10 hours of charge of power off of one of these batteries. So I bought an extra Sony battery, and I also went on Amazon and bought a pack of 3. This is from New Mall, and it comes with this charging port that can charge 3 batteries as well as the original Sony battery. One of the original Sony batteries gives me like 90 minutes of video recording. Even in 4K, I don't think I've ever gone over like 90 minutes. But the thing is that you can do a lot of little things to ensure that your battery lasts, and I can touch on those things later. The second accessory is an external mic. While this is not a necessity, if you like to have a crisper sound, as do I, that I'm getting from the DJI Mic Mini, you can buy a external mic. Before I bought the DJI Mic Mini, I bought this mobile mic from Amazon, and while the mic works for what I wanted, it was just much too big. Like, this is a huge mic. This is a dead cat on the mic. This is the actual mic, and it's very heavy, and then it's connected to the mic via the hot shoe with either this shock absorber or this one, and then you connect the mic to the camera with a 3.5mm jack. It's fine, but it's just much too big. The camera is small, and then to add this huge mic on it just creates this extra bulk that I wasn't comfortable with. So I did buy the small DJI Mic Mini. I bought the 1 transmitter and 1 receiver, and it's connected to the camera with the 3.5mm jack. The receiver is sitting in my hot shoe, and the mic is just clipped onto the 3.5mm jack. You can have it handheld or you can clip it to your shirt. Really depends on personal preference. In my personal experience, I've never had any issues with the Mic Mini losing audio or missing audio, and you can hear the quality for yourself. It's a little bit crisper than the built-in mic. The third accessory is a tripod, which I think is self-explanatory. I use the Ulanzi MT73 selfie stick tripod, which, as the name suggests, I can use as a tripod for sit-down videos like I'm doing now, or I can use it as a selfie stick for like if I'm doing vlogs and I just want that little extra reach. I don't want to have the camera handheld. It works pretty well for that. It also helps with stabilization as well. The fourth or fifth, I've lost count, thing is an SD card reader if you're not in a location that has the Sony Creators app available. It's not available in Jamaica, so I had to figure out a way to get my photos and videos from my SD card to my phone and to my iPad. So I bought this SD card reader on Amazon. It comes with 3 ports. You can use a USB, you can use the large SD card that the camera uses, or you can use a small SD card that like the one that dashcams use. And I bought the one with the lightning cable and the USB-C because I transfer my photos to my phone, which is lightning, and my videos to my iPad with the USB-C. If you have a USB-C phone, you can just buy the one with the 1 port. The next accessory, because I've lost count, is an SD card. I didn't know anything about SD cards and what type of SD cards you use in cameras, so I had to phone a friend. I reached out to my friend Shaquille. He's a video editor, so he knows about these things, and he suggested a few. I eventually settled on the SanDisk Extreme Pro 256GB card. I was gonna buy the 512GB on Amazon, but after using this card for the past 3 months, I don't think I need a 512GB because I filmed about 3 or 4 videos on this SD card so far in 4K, and I still have 4 hours of space remaining. I can also see that on my camera screen. That's why I was looking over. I haven't had any issues with corrupted or missing footage, and I've always heard about SanDisk, but I would recommend it. I have no issues with SanDisk at all. The next accessory is a flash. This is the Medalite F1 flash. The Sony ZV1 is a primarily vlogging camera, not a photo camera, but it does take great photos actually. I'm going to insert a couple of photos that I've taken with and without the flash, and in on the different levels, and in night and in the day. And while it takes really great night photos, you have to have good lighting, and if you don't have good lighting, the photos, while okay, are not that great. So I went on TikTok to do some research, and almost everybody was recommending this flash. It has 4 different flash levels, so from the lowest one to the highest one, and it connects to your camera via the hot shoe via this button. You just slide it in, turn on the camera, and it works. It also works in intelligent auto, but I learned pretty quickly that while it does take good photos in the intelligent auto, learning how to control your ISO and your shutter speed really does make this go from a good photo camera to a great photo camera. So if you're gonna buy the flash, I suggest learning how to shoot in manual mode. The next accessory is a combo: a case, a screen protector, and wristbands. I bought a pack of 6 wristbands from Amazon because, like I mentioned, I wear the camera mainly on my arm, on my hand when I'm going out. My case is self-explanatory. It's cute, so it protects the camera, and it's cute. And I have on my screen protector because I cannot have anything that has a LED screen and don't have a screen protector. That is just reckless. So the ZV1 is a powerful little camera that was made for content creators and vloggers in mind. It doesn't need many additions to be a great camera, but there are a couple of issues that I have seen being raised by other reviewers, and I feel that you would be at a disadvantage if I didn't raise these concerns as well, so you have an idea of what you're getting into. So again, in no particular order: 1, the crop. If you are filming in 4K and you have active stabilization on and you have the camera handheld, you will be cropped in a little bit, so your field of view, I think it's called, is a bit close, but it's not as serious as I've seen some persons say. Not discrediting their opinion, but for me it wasn't really a problem. I just went around this by using my selfie stick tripod. Because it's extendable, I could just extend it by maybe like a couple inches, and I got that wide field of view. The thing is that I'm not a fan of having all of my background showing, not just for safety reason, but also because I'm not a fan of getting people in my background that don't want to be on camera. They didn't sign up to be on my camera, so it's not a problem with me. You can also get a wide angle lens. They're sold by Ulanzi and other brands on Amazon. I personally don't like the look of the wide angle lens because it's a permanent addition to your camera, and it adds a little bulk, so your camera is a little bit more heavy, and it's not that serious for me. The second con that I have to mention is that the tripod hole is located right next to the battery and SD card compartment. So anytime you want to remove your battery or your SD card, you have to take it off your tripod and remove it, and then put it back on your tripod and hope that you put it in the same position that it was in before. It's pretty easy to go around this. You can just get a cage from Small Rig or a plate like this. I got this one from Tossicam because I was doing some research to find a plate that could fit over my case. This doesn't fit over my case, even though the comment said that it did, but that's neither here nor there. I have no issue with removing the camera to put on to exchange the battery. So I took off this and I haven't put it back on. How it works is that it connects to your camera by this screw, and it has a lot of different tripod holes, so you can connect your tripod at any of these locations, so you have the battery compartment accessible. It also has an extra hole through that you can connect accessories to, and it has a hole right here that allows you to put the camera in vertical orientation. The third thing is the battery life, and while I personally do not have a big issue with the battery life, this is something that has been raised by multiple persons about the Sony ZV1. It is a small camera, it uses a small battery, and it's pretty easy to get around the battery life. You can get a dummy plug on Amazon that plugs into the camera and into the wall, so you always have continuous power, especially when you're doing long form videos. You can also buy extra batteries, as I did. I have 5 batteries in total, including the one in the camera, and I don't think I've ever gone through all 5 on an entire day of shooting. I've gone through at most 3, but I change my batteries as soon as they get to the 1 bar, so it's not even like they're even dying. I do get the 90 minutes of of filming on one charge per battery. Also, I do a lot of little extra things to extend my battery life. I have my camera on airplane mode, so it's not constantly searching for Wi-Fi. I turn it off when I'm not using it, so if I'm outside I'm vlogging, I turn off the camera to ensure that I'm not just continuously recording, especially since I'm not going to be using that footage anyway. If you ask me if I would recommend the Sony ZV1, I would say 1000% yes. With 4K capabilities, a great mic, awesome photo capabilities, and incredible autofocus. Not to mention the multiple other features that I haven't mentioned, it is a great camera for how small it is. I mean, the camera has more than proven itself for the last 6 years that it's been released. I think it was released in 2020, like early 2020, and it's still a great camera today in 2026. So if you're like me and you want a camera that you can just pick up, it's beginner friendly, you can just pick it up, press record, and go without buying any extra accessories, this camera is definitely for you. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of my content, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at KNicole, that is KEA Nicole. I'll also add the links to the products that I mentioned in this video in the description box, so you can go and check them out and do your own research. If you'd like to see the Sony ZV1 used straight out of the box in intelligent auto with active stabilization on and with the built-in mic, you can watch my Panama vlog, which was filmed using those features. If you're on the fence about buying this camera, I really hope that this video has helped you to make a decision about whether or not you're gonna buy it, or you're gonna buy the accessories that I mentioned. If you're not gonna buy it, it's really up to you. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.